Welcome to A Night in the Asylum. It's Tuesday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern, as if you didn't know. Time for Talk Tech and Tequila with Darren and Jen. Call in live or leave a message at 855-366-9653 or email dilbert@asylum.radio. It's time to take refuge with your friends, your cocktail and cream puff.
Jen, how are you?
Happy Tuesday. How are you?
Oh my gosh, it's been a while since we've talked.
It has been a long time. Good hearing your voice and seeing your faces.
Yeah, it's Tuesday, May the 18th.
May the 18th. And I'm not introducing Joe today because...
You never do.
We never do. We'll talk about that later.
Yes.
Joe, you're here today. You can introduce our special guest.
Yes.
Yeah. My buddy Len. He's going to talk about music. We had a little bit of an intro for him. I think you had that, Darren.
I wrote something up there, and I don't have it in front of me. So let me get that up right now.
He is. You like to make loud noises and soft noises, is what I heard, which is awesome.
Yeah, it's running a recording studio is a special thing. You have to be able to go with the flow and just kind of find where it's comfortable for everyone involved. So sometimes it requires you to be as loud and abrasive as possible, and other times you have to, pull it back. And you have to be able to find the fun in both.
Awesome. So what's the name of your studio? It totally escapes me. It's right around the block for me, but I cannot remember for the life of me.
Well, here's the thing. The sign says Smith's Music, but I have nothing to do with Smith. The phone number on the building has nothing to do with me. But my studio is called Landmine Studios. I started Landmine Studios in 2001 with a couple friends, and they've since fallen out of business. And I just kind of took it on my own in about 2007, 2008, and I've been just running with it since. I was working out of my basement for a number of years. Either it was with my mom's house, my ex-girlfriend's house, my current house. I had it like in all different places. I had a studio in Paterson, New Jersey, which was a real pain because I lived in the Trenton area, and driving to Paterson 2, 3, 4 times a week was just too much.
That's far. Yeah.
So, yeah, there were reasons, but none of them are good at this point. But a couple of years ago, I decided that I needed to get my own commercial space and really take it seriously, because for a long time it was just like a little bit of a hobby, and then I got pretty good at it. So now it's actually something that helps me make money and cover things.
So when I go to Facebook and I search for Landmine Studios, I find your page and I see a picture of your studio. So I'm assuming that you do mostly work for yourself. Do you ever have anybody in there to use it for their own purposes, or solely for yourself?
I actually don't do hardly any work for myself.
Wow, really?
I only.
I was going to say, like, what would he be doing?
Totally
himself?
opposite. Voiceovers, some kind of voice hiring for talent, that sort of thing.
I don't do a lot of that. I actually record a lot of like rock and metal bands. That's like kind of the focus of what I do. But I mean, I work with some hip hop acts from Trenton. I work with a couple bands from across the world. Like right now, I'm actually editing a record and going to mix it probably next week for a band in France.
Okay, now I see the big picture, because the picture has a window on the one wall, and the other side of the wall beyond that window is where your band would be sitting, right?
Correct.
Oh, wow. That's
Have
really
you never been in a
progressive.
record studio and or seen a movie with a record studio?
Oh, me? The only time I've seen that is a movie or the
just watch like
rock and roll,
Queen
the
or
rock and roll roller coaster in Disney World. I've seen that.
Is the complete novice.
He's like,
You know what?
What?
You do
The
voiceovers.
rock and roll roller coaster studio that's there is actually pretty accurate.
Really?
It's not that far off. Yeah.
Yeah, it sort of looks like yours.
So
Yeah.
What I
let me
remember.
So
let
Len
me ask
is,
you that. Let me
I
ask
want
you
to
this,
know
Len.
if Landmine is really your last name, because that's pretty sweet.
No, I wish it was.
I was like,
I could
Landmine.
only be so lucky to have that as a last name. No, Carmichael is my last name.
Karma.
You know, yeah. It's
So,
landmine was
let me
just like a thing that came up.
Awesome.
Nice. Let me ask you this. So how'd you like what was the inspiration for this? Where did you find the need for it? And how'd you get into this? I mean, specifically, I know you do a lot of rock music and metal and stuff, but like what was the driving force behind all that?
So there are two things that got me into running a recording studio. The first thing is that my uncle was in Kool and the Gang. So I used to go with them to recording sessions in North Jersey at a now defunct studio. It was in East Orange, New Jersey. And I would spend my summers hanging out at a recording studio, watching people record things and put them through boards, etc. And it just, it jumped in on me, and it kind of caught hold. And then at some point, I started playing guitar, and then I joined a band. And then my friends took me to a recording studio in Philadelphia, and this guy was recording in basically his basement using a computer, and I had never seen that before. So it was like 2000, 2001, and I said, I can do that. I definitely can do that. So I actually went out and bought a new computer, and I bought a bunch of stuff to just like figure out how it all worked together. And I started recording bands for free. And once I got good enough at doing it for free, I started charging bands a little bit of money. And now I charge bands a lot of money because it's been 20 years.
Wow.
You better be charging them a lot.
Do they bring their own producer, or do you always produce for them? You're always running the board. How does that work?
It's a little bit of both. I will produce if asked, but mainly I'm the engineer and the mix engineer at the end.
Got it.
So I point mics, I give small suggestions, but I really just facilitate the process. And then at the end, I take everything that they've said they wanted to capture. We've captured it at the best that we could, and then my job is to mix it. Sometimes I'm not the mix engineer, and I'll package up the files and email them or zip file or put them on a flash drive and send them out to wherever they need to go. But overall, I typically do all my own productions from start to end. If a band does come to me and they want me to produce, I will do it. But I don't like to be in the middle. Personally, I don't like to be in the middle of someone else's creative process, because I tend to get, like with rock bands, there isn't that kind of, they've already sat down and put the songs together. So for me to jump in and say that, you should really do it this way would be kind of changing the texture of what we agreed to.
So you have, I'm looking at your studio still, and I see it looks like
Oh God, there's so
four
much
mixers
stuff.
or something. I can't even tell. I can't tell what all this equipment is. But then you have speakers in there, so I assume that you, at some point, they're sitting in the studio with your boards, and they're listening to everything back.
Yep.
And editing.
So
okay.
That stuff in front of me, it's all mic pre's and compressors. It's things to aid you in getting the noise that's coming out in the other room into the computer. So some of it is like a microphone preamp like you would use for what you're talking into right now. And then there's compressors and equalizers and various other things that you can put in the signal path to help you massage that signal and get it to something that's close to done before it gets in the machine.
So sorry, Joe, when you're like during COVID, did you see
a lot of questions,
a downturn or an upturn of people wanting to record?
I'm going to tell you right now that COVID was the best year of my life in the studio.
Yeah.
And the reason being is that with the advent of people utilizing computers and the fact that it's been 20 years, there's so much stuff that's like cheaper, free, or at least like really reasonably priced to allow you to record from home. And for most of it, you can do it like you can just plug your guitar straight into whatever interface you have, record a clean signal, and send it to me, and I can just put it through an amplifier on my own. There's so many tools out there that make it easy for people to record anywhere, send the files, and I can edit, mix, etc. from anywhere.
So that's pretty cool. So someone can send you a raw file, and you can actually send it out through like a Fender stack amp. Is that what you're saying? Like a physical amp?
Yep. Oh, wow,
absolutely. With effects pedals and all that crap.
Yeah, I can go as far as I'd like, or keep it as simple as possible. So if someone were to just take their plain clean guitar, just plug the cord into the guitar and plug the other end of the cord into whatever interface, and interface is the thing that turns the electrical signal out of your guitar into zeros and ones.
Wow.
To go into the computer.
I'm gonna see how really good you are. I'm gonna send you a file of my shitty guitar playing and see how well you make me sound.
That's what I was gonna say is that I heard that, a lot of times, and Len, you tell me if this is true or false. I just heard it actually through another music producer that I spoke to in New York a while back. He says what he basically does is make people sound good, and that there are a lot of people that come in the studio that actually cannot sing, and they produce beautiful music coming out of the studio.
99%.
That's wild.
So in the beginning, when sorry, Joe, I'll just let me finish this real quick. In the beginning, people could actually play, they could actually sing, they practiced, and now everybody is sample serving size. So they only want to do just a little bit, just enough to get it done, and then they expect the engineer to make it, to quote unquote fix it in the mix. So there are a lot of guys that are out there that are making pristine recordings from trash. And
how do you become famous in that case? Like at some point you're going to have to sing live, right?
No, you don't.
It's all marketing, and there's lip syncing now.
Oh, dear.
Think about this. Milli Vanilli back in the day got in trouble because they were lip syncing, and now everybody is lip syncing. If that had happened to them now, nobody would have said anything. They would have just like, "Oh, the track's good. Oh well."
Oh well.
So I always tell people, I wish I could sing and like hold the tune, but you're telling me I don't need to sing and hold the tune. You could fix you could fix me.
Yeah, pretty much. There are like 3 or 4 programs out there that actually pitch bend your vocals. They're called Melodyne, Waves Tune, and Auto Tune. All three of them can take your vocal. You could sing completely off key, and it'll bring it up to whatever it's supposed to, and you can program it note by note to be perfect.
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. Since everybody's pretty much trash going in there, there's some level of balance, so to speak. And it brings me to songwriting. Do you think songwriting is improved, the same, different? I mean, what does that look like now?
Songwriting has taken a huge hit. And honestly, in my opinion, and this is just opinion, that is the biggest problem with music right now, is that no one is writing good songs. You think about, like, all right, let's just take it back to 91, so 30 years ago. All the bands you were hearing come through, especially bands like Nirvana, etc., they were really writing and crafting their own songs, and then they were going in and performing it. And they were out on the road, cutting their teeth, getting better at playing. So then when they came into the studio, they were actually able to create magic. Now people are creating magic from literally dust.
Yeah. So now they have to learn the songs that they made, and so it's harder.
I feel like the songs now are also what is the right word? They don't have a soul. Like a lot of times in the past, music had a meaning, and now it's just like, what can make you go viral or something is the music goal.
That is exactly what it is. Everybody's looking to
just like podcast, Jen.
Everybody wants to be Joe Rogan.
That's right. Just Darren, you just have to like smoke a blunt or something, and maybe you'll go viral. I don't know. Like Elon.
So what like type of music do you love producing or engineering the most? Like, what's your sweet spot?
The thing I'm best at is like really brash, like heavy punk rock and hardcore. But the thing I would prefer to do would be something more like an indie rock thing. The problem is once you get down a path, you get pigeonholed. So for me to pick up a band that does something that would be more fun for me to do, I'd have to really cut my prices. And it's just not it's not worth it at this point to cut the prices. I'll just continue to take the business as it comes to me.
Right. I mean, do you think it's people who come to you? Is it a younger demographic? They're just starting out? Is it like guys in their teens, their 20s, 30s? I mean, like what's
one of the last bands I had in, the kids were literally between the age 14 and 17.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And like their parents were all in the scene that I kind of meander through. And I've recorded their parents, and then their parents are like, hey, you should go see Len. So now I'm getting like this second generation of talent, money, whatever way you want to call it. It's like, it's just repeat business, and it's great. Like, I'm not mad at it at all.
What percentage of people that are recording in your studio want to be on video also, as opposed to just audio?
I would say almost all of them. But in the past, video was like you had to have a huge budget. Now video, much like audio, anybody can pick up a camera and cut together a video. So it's not really out of range anymore. So it happens. Like people make videos all the time.
I noticed that you, I guess it's on your podcast. I'm not sure, but I follow you on Facebook and everything, and once in a while you have a live broadcast of bands. Is that through your podcast? I don't know if you want to plug that now and talk a little bit about that.
Oh, well, there are two things that I do. So I have my own podcast called the Upgrade Podcast, and I do it with my co-host Gary, and we really like to have like 3-hour conversations about anything at all. We don't have like a point or anything going into any of the conversations. We literally just get together and talk. Sometimes we have guests, sometimes we don't. It could be anything from music to movies to politics, etc. Like whatever comes up is what we talk about. Secondarily, the thing you're talking about is I actually teamed up with hate56.com to do live recordings. So in 2012, I went to my first event with him, which was a festival in Philadelphia called This Is Hardcore, and there's 65 bands playing in 4 days, and we recorded all 65 of them with video and audio and made them up at the end to give the user the experience of being there. And we've just been working together since. And once the pandemic hit, we said, hey, we should do this from my studio because I have all the equipment. There's enough space to get it done, and there's a market for it. Why not? And we do probably 1 to 2 a month, but it looks like it may actually get to be more than that in the coming weeks.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, a lot of bands do that as of late, obviously because of the concert restrictions, or you can't have concerts right now.
Right.
I mean, I watched a few of them. They're very, very cool. Do people, is it a live free stream, or is it like a pay service, or how does that work?
So I get paid to be there. That's my number one thing that I tell everybody that's getting started in anything. Always get paid. Even if it's not a lot of money, get paid. Because it's hard to start getting paid later if you don't start out from the beginning getting paid, because people will always see you as a free service. Now, Sonny runs Hate56. He puts these out on free live streaming, but he does extra content on his Patreon. So if you were to go to patreon.com/hate5, the number, and then 6 written out, you would see his Patreon, and people support him doing everything through that. And there's extra content there. So rig rundowns, there's extra songs. We just do extra content to kind of keep the engine going. We don't charge the bands to come in typically unless it's a situation where they're asking us. If we ask them, they don't pay. If you ask us, then you pay.
When you were giving us the address, I think it was a little distorted. You want to try that one more time?
Oh,
Patreon.
sure. It's patreon.com/hate the number 6. The number 5 and then 6 written out.
Okay.
856.
Got it.
856.
That. Yeah. So it's a play on 856 from South Jersey. Because that's where he was actually from.
Jersey, what up?
Jersey in the house. I have a question. So
Sure.
pretend I'm a musician or singer, but I'm not. But how important is the chemistry or the dynamic between me as the artist and the studio that's actually recording? And what do I look for when I'm looking for the right studio to record my music?
In my opinion, the thing you want to feel is comfortable. If you're not comfortable in the space, you're never going to sit down and record something and feel good about it later. So I've made a point about my studio feeling like you're just chilling on my couch. You might happen to be in my studio, but my studio is based on the couch. If you sit at the couch, it sounds good there. It feels good to sit there, and it just kind of, there's a TV, there's a refrigerator, and everything that you would want to have around to just not feel the pressure. Secondarily, your engineer should never be someone that you hate talking to, because if you hate talking to them, you're never going to be comfortable like getting advice from them on something that you're doing badly.
Yeah. Yeah, you need someone that can tell it to you straight and have the ability, I guess, What are you laughing at?
Like you, Jen.
Jen, you can't sing.
No, I can't. It's true. I know that, though.
No, you do in your own way. You do it in a nice way.
A lot of auto-tune and the other things.
I have another question for Len. What's the, I guess, most successful band you've recorded?
How do you measure success?
That's what I was going to ask.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I don't know. Like
most well-known, maybe. Most well-known.
Well-known. Maybe in your mind's eye, they're successful to you as far as, a great
genre. Yeah.
Or genre, or a lot of people like them. However you categorize it, as far as success goes.
I would say that the band that got the biggest that I've worked with is this band called Swashbuckle. I happen to be best friends with the singer of the band, who is also the bass player of the band, but they've played literally almost every country in the world. Okay. And their band is like, the first record we did together, the guy who put it out is Bumblefoot from he was in Guns N' Roses for a while. And he was like their record label manager, but he's also become a friend. And he helped to push that band to new heights. I mean, they've done Japan, they've done Europe, all of America, Canada, Mexico. They've been on cruise ships as a pirate band playing a cruise ship. There is literally nothing better you could do, because you've reached the point where you've done it all at that point. And I would say that they're probably the biggest band. I don't know that they're necessarily the record that I love the most, but they're the biggest.
It looks like they're facebook.com/swashbuckle band.
Swashbuckle? What does that even mean?
It's like
dressed as pirates.
It's a pirate term. You never heard of that?
No.
Swashbuckler. Yeah.
No, I've never heard that word.
Haven't you ever written the Pirates of the Caribbean? Haven't you written the Pirates of the Caribbean in Disney World, Jen? It's probably not mentioned there.
I don't know.
I'm embarrassed for you, Jen. I'm so embarrassed.
I am embarrassed for me too. But there are a lot of like words like this just because of not being raised like a normal American that I just don't know.
Normal American.
But she's always lived here, so go figure.
Swashbuckle. Got it.
So so we have like 5 minutes left with Len, but I'm curious, and I kind of want to go around the room a little bit. Is favorite top 2-3 bands It could be hip hop, it could be pop, it could be rap, it could be R&B, rock, whatever. I want to hear from you guys so I can make fun of you, because I'm going to make fun of myself because I have some guilty pleasures. Len, why don't you go first?
No, I want you to go first.
Me go first? Okay.
Yeah.
You have to go first. Come on.
All-time favorite band. So I love rock music. So Pearl Jam was probably one of my favorites like ever. They've such a great career. Later career, not so much. It's a little boring for me, but earlier on, the first 4 or 5 albums were awesome. I have to go with Nirvana is up there for me as well. It's just part of my generation. But my third guilty pleasure is also from the 90s. They're still around. I don't care what anybody thinks. I think the great songwriters.
I know. Is it
Katy
Third Eye
Perry?
Blind?
Third Eye Blind.
Third Eye Blind.
Yeah.
There's something about Third Eye Blind that even now the songs that they put out are really different. But it stays true to the roots. But they're updating their sound. Right.
I'm surprised you didn't say Jack Johnson.
Oh, I love Jack Johnson. I love it too. But those are like you can't say Nirvana and Jack Johnson in the same sentence, right? You can't. It just doesn't match. So that's my guilty pleasure is the Third Eye Blind.
You can say anything you want, and you should never have a guilty pleasure. If you like it, there's no guilt that should be implied by it.
Exactly.
Yeah, we had that
All day
conversation
long.
about a month ago, Joe.
Joe just feels
thing.
guilty all the time, and I'm like,
I do, but
I like it.
everything I do, because so many people make fun of
If
me.
I
so.
like it, I have zero guilt. No guilt to be found.
Yeah. Okay. All right. How about you, Jen?
So I listen to a lot of Spanish music because I'm married to a Latin man. My music that I really like listening to is Maluma. Love Maluma. I like Ricky Martin,
Oh, boy.
and I like Mariah Carey. Those are my 3.
Okay.
They're not really bands, but they're singers.
Band. I mean, they need
whatever.
a band to make music.
Ricky Martin.
You don't really need a band to make music. I could make
That's
a whole
true.
music.
That's
You
true.
make a
You
whole
can do
record,
it
okay?
yourself. Nowadays, you don't. Yeah.
All right,
No,
Darren.
I'm not really into bands now that I think about it. I like solo artists, I guess.
I can't say
All right.
they're guilty pleasures. I like a couple
Darren.
boy bands. That's all. That's all.
All right.
In
Wow.
sync and stuff like that.
There's a reason for that. It's not because of their music either.
NSYNC was a
Darren.
favorite band.
NSYNC's your favorite band.
No, it was in the past. Not so much
Oh.
anymore.
Well, right now, give me 3.
I can only give you one more. It's like the Jonas Brothers and John Bovi. That's all.
Bon
Bon
Jovi.
What?
What's the name of that
John
one
Bon Jovi.
boy band that's from like South Korea or something? That's like,
Oh, yeah, like
No, I'm not into
K10,
them.
K5 or something. I don't know.
yeah, they're like
I-
so popular.
Yeah.
What are they called?
I don't know the name of that band, but I know what you're talking
There's
about.
like
I just
15
can't
people in
think
it.
off the top of
Yeah, they're Korean, right? They're Asian. Right?
I think they're South
Yeah.
Korean. I'm not sure.
It's
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
Korean. Yeah.
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 The
All right,
K-pop
Len.
band.
Yeah.
I don't know
Len,
exactly what the name of it. All right.
Tell us where your
so
studio
I'm probably gonna
is.
name off some.
Wait,
Oh,
Len's
my
got to tell me his
studio-
three favorites first.
All right, I'll do my 3 favorites and then I'll just transition right in. So,
Okay.
number one favorite band right now is Circa Survive. They're from like the Philadelphia, New Jersey area. I've always been a big fan of them. It's kind of laid back, but it's fun. I really love the Posies. They're a band that was like big in the early 90s.
I remember
They
them, yeah.
would have been from like that same time period with Nirvana. And then my last favorite band would have to be not a band. It's actually Redman. He's a rapper. from New
Yeah,
Jersey.
he's awesome. Yeah.
I love Redman. I think he's the greatest MC of all time.
Oh, yeah.
So my studio is located in technically Trenton, New Jersey, but it's in Ewing, right by the airport. It's in a shopping center called Glen Rock Shopping Center. The sign on the building says Smith's Music. Feel free to stop by, knock on the door. I'm most likely not going to be there because I'm working from my house.
And
Just
what's the
knock
best
anyway.
way for people to contact you for electronically or phone?
Landmine Studios. Just type that in on Instagram, and I answer that regularly.
Okay.
There's one question I didn't get a chance to ask.
Oh, no.
How do you know Joe, or how do you two
How do
know
I-
each other?
I think I've known Joe since Did you go to Antel, Joe?
No,
Or did you go to Laura? Okay. So
no,
then,
neither.
I don't know what
No.
you guys are talking about. What?
Schools.
Me too. Is that a
Elementary
bar?
schools. Elementary schools. So I'll answer this. So like it from Fisher.
yeah,
Ewing,
like
right?
Fisher time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fisher and Ewing High.
Yeah.
No, back in the day. I see.
Yeah.
Wow. That's a
Yeah.
long time ago, Joe.
That's when
And-
Joe looked like what's his name from Nirvana with the long hair.
Yeah.
and
Well,
stuff.
when you
No,
look
that
good.
was college. That was college. I had long hair in college. I had
Your hair
short
was
prep-
kind of. Your hair was a
I had-
little longer than now in high
Yeah,
school. Just
and
a little bit
blonde.
longer.
Yeah.
All right, before we let Len go, was Joe really annoying in high school? Be honest.
You know what? I was such an ass. Excuse my language. I was such a jerk in high school that I'm not even sure why Joe talks to me. Like I was the guy that had a huge chip on his shoulder. I've since moved on from that. So I can't tell you whether Joe was really annoying or not because I was really annoying.
we
You're
all
lucky
were.
this time, Joe. You're lucky.
Yeah, I know. I liked everybody. I was trying to be friendly with everybody. So I mean, maybe Len didn't like me.
No,
I don't know.
Trust me, there are hundreds of people that I refuse to speak to, even if I see them in person. You're fine. I did not
All
hate
right.
you.
Awesome.
Len, thanks for joining us.
Great talking to you.
Anytime.
Thank
If you guys
Len.
ever want me to come back, let me know.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right. Take care.
All right, man. Bye.
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 That was Len Carmichael. Nice guy.
That's awesome. I mean, you know that a lot of these bands and musicians are in his hands, are in the studio's hands to make or
He's
break
going to
them.
make him sound good. Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
And look good.
Cool.
I have so many other questions. Like, does he get royalties for the music that he helps create? Is it like partly his?
That would have been a good question.
But you two
Should've
just
asked
kept
him.
asking questions. I was like, fine.
We're like jumping over each other to ask questions.
I know. I was like, wait,
Studio.
I have so many
I'm
questions.
going to talk to you.
Meanwhile, Darren is like, wait, what is a studio?
Oh, shut
I feel
up.
like, I feel like we
Leave
were
me
both trying-
alone.
I feel like we were both trying to pick up the same guy at the same time, and like we're jumping over each other.
All right, Joe, we got a lot to talk about with you, our
Lord.
favorite co-host, who's
Oh, dear. Here we
leaving us
go.
full-time anyway. He won't be
Well, I
here
know my
anymore.
Favorite.
It's like good news
Well-
and not so good news. Good
Well,
news
it's good
is
news. The good news. Well, good news is I got a new job and everything like that a couple weeks ago, and I really want to dedicate myself to the new job. I know we start the podcast around 7:30, but not sure what time I'll get off from work, and I really want to put my best foot forward and commit to that because it pays me, and this does not.
it pays you
So
with friendship. Come on.
Yeah. And
yeah,
notoriety. And you get to practice public speaking, Joe. Come on.
That's
Yeah,
right.
well,
There's
you.
so
So
many
much-
benefits.
I get to practice public speaking in my current role, so I don't need you guys anymore.
And listen,
Wow.
but when
You
your
see
employers-
how he
Kidding, I'm
tosses us
kidding.
aside?
when your employer
I-
sees one of these episodes, they're going to say, "Oh, Joe, that's so cool. You should keep doing it."
And then I will.
I need
No,
to get
I
out
was-
at 5:00.
Yeah. No, I want to see how it pans out. So I get out around like 6:30, so I want to see how everything pans out. And like I said, I want to really commit to my role and position. And
But we'll do
but-
we'll do some off-hour shows that will
Yeah,
pink
yeah.
and we'll have
See,
you back.
aren't you glad we didn't
I-
change our whole intro and
Yeah, because I mean, we had to take him
website
out
and
already.
well, I was thinking big things for us. I thought we were going to be, big time and everything. I was going to help us elevate to that level. And I
Never
still
made
am.
it happen.
I
Never made it happen, Joe.
I dropped the ball on that
You
one.
did.
Yeah,
But
Joe.
You're such a disappointment right now. I feel like.
All right, Joe,
Many-
tell us
many
tell us
have
what
said that,
happened to
too.
you with
Oh, boy.
Joe was I guess he was doing upside down hanging crunches, right? 'Cause you
So
have a-
first, before that,
No.
I just
Give us a
saw.
give us
I
a big
mean,
picture.
Joe is very transparent in his social media and the things that he posts. So without context, there was a picture of Joe in a hospital room, like sitting with his head down, saying he got stitches or something like that.
I didn't
Staples.
see that.
He did, staples.
Staples in the
Yeah.
head like Frankenstein. Let's see.
Yeah,
Get a
yeah.
close up. Go close to the
Yeah,
camera.
that-
Well, they're out now. It's been
I don't
like a
see
week.
anything.
It's in the back of my head.
Oh, the back of your head. Okay.
Yeah, the back of my head. So let me tell you what happened. So I was doing my exercises, and I wasn't hanging upside down.
Oh, I thought you were.
No, there's a pull-up bar that you put up over a door, like old-fashioned. You hook it up on the doorway.
Oh, this makes so much more sense because the visual I had very different.
Yeah, so I hang from it, and I do my crunches, lift my legs sideways.
Okay, got it.
Oh, you lift your legs up. I see.
Lift my legs up while I'm hanging. And
that's probably more difficult, right, than hanging upside down.
No, I think hanging upside down would be pretty fun.
Okay, show us next time.
Doing that. So no.
You can tell Darren does 0 crunches. Upside down is easier.
You do.
Oh Jesus! I do a lot, and it doesn't make a difference. So
Jen takes some pictures, then maybe he will.
Yes, exactly.
So yeah, I'm hanging there. I'm doing my first.
So you're hanging. You're lifting your legs.
Second, lifting my legs, doing my second crunch, and it's like a side crunch. And the way I positioned myself, it was like I made the bar ajar, I guess, at a weird angle, so it came loose, and I wasn't expecting it, and I just fell backwards, hit a wall, the back of my head. But first I hit my head, and then I landed on my elbows, and then everything else came down. So I was extremely nauseous. Blood was all over the place.
Ugh.
I was dizzy.
The head bleeds like a lot.
Yeah, a lot. So, and I'm like,
were you kids there?
My kids were there.
Oh, did they freak out?
No, they just stood there. Well,
my God, call 911.
Dad's dying. They just stood there and they're in shock because I'm just like, I'm dropping the F-bomb left and right, and they don't hear Dad curse very often. So I'm like, fuck, like over and over. So my son Ryan, he's like almost wants to laugh because one, I hurt myself. It's like slapstick to him, right? And then two, I'm like cursing I'm cursing like crazy. He's never heard me say the F-bomb like so many times in a row. So out comes Kelly, and she drags me to the bathroom and closes the door so the kids don't have to see or anything. I'm like so out of it. Like I don't know what's going on. So fast forward, everything gets cleaned up and whatever. And I go to the hospital and got a concussion, get 5 staples in my head.
How big was
how did the staples feel?
The rip in your head or whatever it's called.
I guess it was like about an inch and a half, 2 inches. So like that.
And staples, like actual like
like Frankenstein.
Did
they numb your head first?
They did numb it. It didn't work, so I felt every one of them.
Oh shit.
So it was funny because the guy kept on putting this needle in me. I'm like, I don't feel you putting this needle in me, but I'm gonna believe that you're doing something. So like in hindsight, when I think about it, I feel like he was like piercing the skin, but the liquid was just rolling back.
Oh, and it was coming right back out. Yeah,
it was just coming right back out. So I wasn't feeling. I felt everything. So he starts the first stitch, and I'm just like, just do it. And he goes,
Jen's having a drink. Is that tomato juice, Jen?
Between each staple, he's like, is everything okay? I'm like, yeah, just hurry up and get it done. Click. Is that okay? I'm like, yes, it's okay. Just go. It hurts like a bitch. Just keep on going. Just like a bandit. Just like he just wanted to take a break.
I've always wondered these surgical staples. Like, how a paper stapler, you push it down
like
and the pins sort of go together because they're being pushed against something. So is that how a staple for your skin is working? Like, is it pushed against your skull, or what is going on? How does that work?
The stapler has the bottom that makes the little metals kind of curl up so it doesn't come out, but your head doesn't have that.
I'm well, mine does, but no,
it does now.
I'm not sure how the mechanism works. I could tell you that the material, the staple itself, looks a lot like, it feels a lot like a paper stapler. So
that's small too, thin.
Yeah, it's that small. And
did they take them out already?
They did. They took them out yesterday. Yeah. So seven days later.
How did that feel? Did they numb you for that?
They did a great job with that. So I was lucky to have a guy who was like a trauma doctor, and he was used to doing that. So he just popped them out like it was nobody's business. I didn't feel it. So that was the only good part about it, is getting them out. And
why did they
it just,
do staples and not like dissolving stitches?
because typically in your head, like in your hair, whatever, they'll do staples because I guess they put that glue in there. The hair gets in the way, and the hair can get inside the wound, I guess.
Oh, and then
And
they would need to shave your head to stitch
yeah,
it. Yeah.
they did that with my son, but it was in the front of his forehead. So yeah, they'll do that on the head, but not in the hair area. They'll do staples.
Oh,
He had
interesting.
staples on his forehead.
He got the glue on his forehead.
Oh, the glue. Okay.
Yeah. I think the other reason is I guess depending where you go in a hospital, the glue costs a lot more money than the staples. To save money,
Oh.
they might just do staples. It's the same. The glue is better because it pulls it together a little bit more, I guess, and you get less scarring. I will definitely have a scar from this.
But your hair
He sits in your hairline, so yeah, you have a good head of hair.
Yeah, no, it's way back here. You won't see it, but
So I was imagining you were doing sit-ups on a pull-up bar, like
That's
what
what
we
I
were
thought,
talking
too.
about. I thought you had your legs over the bar, hanging upside
No.
down,
No.
and somehow it disconnected from the wall, and I was like, "But Joe is not that heavy. I don't know how it got that." And then you just on your head. But
What did you say this bar was again? Like, is there a brand name or just something you put together?
No, it's not anything I put together. It's like I don't
it
know.
looks
It's
like a
something-
C, right? It like hooks onto the top of your
exactly.
door jam.
I've had it since like high school. I've always had it, and it's just always I hooked it up to my door jam, and just because it's easy to hook up and just remove. So I've always used it, but never again because it's just extremely dangerous.
Get the monkey bars, the one that you
Yeah.
actually install into the door molding.
Well, yeah. I mean, when I'm ready for it, I'm gonna get one of those freestanding ones, those big professional metal, big. You know, you do dips on it, you can do pull-ups and all that. That's what I'm gonna get next. Nothing I have to install. I just
nothing that will disconnect from the wall.
Nothing to just disconnect. Yeah. So, like,
Jen-
if I was hanging upside down, I don't think it could hold my weight like that. Like, I'm 175, 180. And
I would imagine just putting your legs through would be hard, just the
because it would
clearance.
just be, yeah.
Jen, what was your home gym called that you bought, the electronic one?
Tempo.
Temple. How's that going?
Tempo.
Love it. I love it. Tempo is badass.
How many days a week are you doing this now?
3 to 5, depending on the week.
And you just feel better doing this. You haven't have you gained muscle or something or what?
I've gained muscle. I've lost like 6 pounds. I have more like endurance, but it's less about losing weight. And I think it's more just about moving, since with COVID, my activity level went to like 0 compared to walking in the city, going to the office, all that stuff.
And now that COVID's over, you're going to keep Tempo or get rid of it?
Yeah. Maybe
it's not
I don't
over
know.
yet, but
It's
it
not.
seems like
Yeah.
it seems like we're around the bend.
Hopefully, knock on wood.
All right. So another topic before we run out of time. Jen found this. She said that Joe got fact checked on Facebook. What was that all about? Tell us.
Hilarious. I want to know, because I've never been fact checked or whatever.
Neither did I.
So how does it notify you? Does it tell you why? What's the whole thing? What's the process?
It didn't tell me why exactly. It told me because my photo was misleading. And
but it wasn't even a photo, was it? It was like a comment.
It was a comment, a photo of a comment.
Oh,
so
okay.
yeah, it said it was misleading, and it was there was context missing from the post. So
the comment was
the comment was it was something stupid, like I don't know, and people got really upset about it too.
It was the one where you're talking about you can hack the oil pipeline, but you can't hack the voter booth.
Right, yeah. So I think it's always for me. It was funny because every year. For the past every election with every president, whether it be Trump, Obama, or Biden, they're like, somebody hacked it, somebody did this to, and everybody, whatever party it is, this year it was the Democrats. They won, like, no, it's impossible. There's no way in the world. But when Trump got elected, everybody like, oh yeah, Russia did it. All Democrats.
That is kind of absurd.
it's absurd because every party does it, and yeah, you know what? Everybody's tapping to the voting. I mean, yes, of course, it's all freaking rigged.
I mean, I think it's
Um,
absurd to think that it's even like it makes any sense to say something is not hackable. That's not a thing.
So on top of
Everything is hackable.
on top of Joe's post, it says missing context. The same information was checked in another post by independent fact checkers. See why, and then if you click the X to get rid of it, you see his original post, which is, so a pipeline is hackable, but a voting machine wasn't? Question mark, question mark, question mark.
I don't know what other
offensive.
context you need. I mean,
I don't
that's the whole context right there.
So what I think, there's two ways you get fact checked. And I don't have 1 million followers. My influence is probably minuscule. So I don't think Facebook is really looking at my
No, one
photos
of your
very much.
friends fact checked you, I think.
One of my, so that's the other way, is you get fact checked by a friend.
Really? I didn't know you could do
yes.
that. I'm going to start fact checking.
I don't even know how to fact check people. That's the thing. It's like, what?
I did it just curious if you could do it. So I clicked on the photo, and you know the 3 dots that are on top of a photo, whether you're on mobile or on a desktop. So on that, you have a whole bunch of different selections, and one of them being report this photo for misleading context or whatever.
I'm looking right now while you
That's
talk.
interesting. I am too. I didn't know
I'm
you could do
going
all
to
that.
fact check all your posts now. You're going to be like, who did it? Me. It was just me.
Well, now it's always going to be Jen.
Always will be
fact-checking
me.
myself. But like,
Okay, so I just pick a picture like how I feel when you scroll on the year you were born. This one.
Okay. Yeah.
It says find support or report photo.
Report photo.
I'm doing. Oh, and then the options are, you see the options: nudity, violence, harassment, suicide.
False information. That's where it came from, right there.
Something else.
False information is the one that'll get you in trouble.
Should I just do it about your? I'm just going to do it. I don't know. Ready?
It doesn't matter. I want to see what happens.
Just do it, Jen.
And then it's what it's about: health, politics, social issue. Issue. Why not?
Yeah, sure.
Does this go against our community standards?
Oh, Derek.
I had to get that out there. A picture of Joe showing.
I'm not going to submit it.
He's getting the staples in his head.
Look how good my arms look, though.
Look, and your arms do look good, but look at his face and his eyes. Like he's.
Look at the guy doing the staples. His eyes are like wide open.
That's bizarre.
He was a little crazy doctor a little bit. He scared me a little bit. I think he enjoyed the pain he was inducing on me.
So do you have an idea of who fact checked you?
I do, but you don't know.
It wasn't me, for the record.
I know. In the end, people feel very passionate about their party and what they believe in, and that's fine and all. The thing I don't like is negative comments on stupid posts. Like even things that I believe in. If I don't like what you're posting, I just scroll past it, and I don't even make it a point to silence people that I don't like their political views or social views. It doesn't matter to me. They're still my friends. If you get so hung up on that, you gotta get a life. I mean, there's so many bigger things in the world than social views.
I mean, I feel like for sure the Trump issue broke up a lot of friendships and marriages and families for sure.
Yeah. Which is it's a shame.
Yeah, and it's like it shouldn't. You have the freedom to choose whatever makes sense to you. So
exactly, like I'd never burn anybody with my advice or comments of my disagreement with who they like, or I don't care. But it's literally people telling me how wrong I am to be a Republican or not to like Biden or disagree with mask mandates or whatever. I am wrong. I'm evil. I'm racist. It's like,
but there is no wrong or right in those situations. It's just
it's just my comfort, right? Yeah. I mean, but it's funny because if you're a Republican, you're automatically racist, right? You're anti-gay. You're anti this, that, and the other. And luckily, the Democratic Party has done a great job branding themselves as pro people, right? They're for the people, and Republicans aren't. And I don't see it that way. I was very much a Democrat until it went way too crazy for me. It went way off the rails. I didn't like what I was seeing, and I voted for Obama twice. Trump came aboard. I was like, I know we need change, and this is not coming from my
he brought change, all right. He brought a lot of change.
Right. Listen. And I'm not saying this is coming from me, and I heard this somebody else say it, and I agree with him wholeheartedly. Is he had the right message? He was the wrong person to deliver it. Absolutely, but that's the thing is like people look a lot at what's on the surface, like with Obama and Biden. Oh, they're so nice. They speak so eloquently and everything like that. Trump, he's horrible, and because he's so mean, he's mean tweets and blah blah blah. But look past that. Look past all that.
Wait, Joe.
Yeah.
To be fair, though, do you feel anywhere deep inside that Trump was trying to become a dictator?
No.
Even after January 6th, no?
No. I think what he did on January 6th, I think he used a lot of emotion of losing. I think that's where he kind of lost me. I think he shouldn't have. I can't say he incited a riot. Those people have their own mind and will. To storm the Capitol, and all of a sudden that's become almost a religious place. The Democrats were before they give a shit about it. They're so anti-government before, and now that Biden's president, they're like, yeah, government, it's so it's so sacred and everything. Which it's just it's. Let me tell you this: no career politician gives a shit about you. They spent their career making money to get where they're at to make more money. That's why they're there. It's not to help anyone per se.
I'm not a politician, so I have no. Yeah, I don't even know politicians, so I don't even know. Yeah.
So like, I can't subscribe to the Democratic Party only because I just so much I've seen, and like I said, I was deeply a Democrat for a very long time, and I've seen where it's gone and progressed. The Democrats are almost like they're old Republicans. If you don't believe what we believe in, you're shit. And the Republicans are like, well, that's fine. You don't have to like us, and this is what we like. We're not Trump. They support Trump because he's part of the Republican Party, but you could be anything you goddamn want. You could be, gay, lesbian, transgender. You could be a fucking racist for all we care. But that's acceptance. I mean, I don't have to like you as a racist. I don't.
Yes, my prerogative. That's fact.
Jen, have you voted for Republicans in the past?
No.
One of my favorite presidents was Ronald Reagan, even though he was not.
I think I was like 4 when he was president.
He wasn't a big supporter of doing something about the AIDS crisis, but Ronald Reagan helped to make Americans feel proud to be American, and he kind of made the enemy Russia instead of each other.
Well, I don't prescribe. I don't say I'm Democrat or Republican. I haven't yet found a Republican in my lifetime where I've been eligible to vote that I'm like, I like this person. But if that person comes along, I wouldn't be opposed. I don't just blindly vote Democrat.
Yeah, I vote for the best candidate, whoever I feel is the best candidate.
Yeah, but that's what I think happened. That's what I think happened in this election. They were like, everybody was like, but anybody but Trump. Was Biden really the best candidate? Probably not. I mean, are you happy with Biden?
There could have been a better Democrat, but who would that have been?
I don't know.
Yeah, but at least you know what? It's nice to have peace and stability in our government, where before it was like a roller coaster every day.
Yeah, peace and everything because it's all Democrat now. They've run the board, so nobody's fighting with each other. Of course, they all think the same thing.
Jen, do you find yourself watching the news as much anymore or not?
No.
Do I?
Not at all. I don't even know what's going on.
Making news anymore.
I know that there's stuff going on in Israel and all of this because I get my daily recap in my email, but it's not because I read or watch the news.
Yeah.
I just get like snippets.
Joe, I have a personal question. I was scrolling through your pictures and I found one of somebody, it's black and white, of a man who looks like he's wearing a leather jacket, goggles, and maybe a parachute, like he's a pilot or something. Does that ring a bell?
That is my grandfather.
Wow, really?
He was a fighter pilot in the Korean War. His name was Kazimir Jasinski. They called him
Kazimir.
Chuck.
That's a cool name.
Yeah, he's a pretty cool guy. Yeah, he was a cool guy.
It would have been cool to be a fighter pilot, but I was, I had problems with my eyes.
I tried twice and I failed the hearing test every time.
Really?
Yeah. So
Why do you have to have
too
good
bad.
hearing as a pilot?
Good hearing
You
and
gotta
good
hear-
eyes.
you got to
Oh.
hear. I could see forever. He was like, I remember the guy. He was like, boy, you could see forever, but you can't hear it for shit.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, guess I'm not going to be in the Air Force. So
You're
that's
out.
it.
You're out.
You're out.
You could have served in the Navy. That's what the wussy going.
So we have
Yeah,
4
exactly.
minutes late. I want to hear Joe's thoughts on
kidding.
this. What is it called? Interesting new CDC guideline that says if you're vaccinated, you don't have to wear a mask anywhere anymore.
I'm all
I think
for
it's
it.
I think it's great. I mean, I think even people who are not vaccinated can go out without a mask as long as you don't.
You think it feels
Have
like
these
a little? It feels like a little slutty not to wear a mask in public anymore.
No. It does. It does. Because I feel like it's like my boulder holder right now, and like my boobs out or something like that.
Right, you're like, oh God, I need to cover my face.
I feel like
See my
people,
nose, my mouth.
if I walk around without a mask on, I feel like people are going to look at me and snarl at me, you know. But
judge you, yeah, and
Judge me,
God
yeah.
forbid you sneeze or you need a cough because something went down the wrong tube.
Oh, dude, I hold that cough in like a motherfucker.
Yeah, better hold it in.
But
Well, you know, if
You know how many
keep-
times I've sneezed
Honestly-
in my own like nose because
Oh, that's not right. I just sneeze all over the place.
it hurts so bad.
It hurts. so
Sorry.
bad.
But I feel like, and I've seen memes on this, but I feel like I'm a little upset about it because, you know, people with nice eyes, such as myself, it was like our time
Oh,
to shine.
geez, you're so full of yourself.
It was our time to shine, you know. So all you saw was our nice eyes, my baby blues,
Yes.
and they didn't have to look at the rest of the mess, you know. So it was like everything was under the carpet. They didn't have to see anything, you know. Behind the
It helped
curtain.
save me time because of like, you know, all I had to do was basically mascara and no other makeup because it's most of my face is covered.
too,
so
Jen.
why?
You don't wear
I don't wear
line.
much makeup anyway. But
No, yeah.
still.
I don't remember you wear makeup at all, but
Yeah.
I don't know. You're all like all natural.
All natural.
Yeah.
Well, Joe,
But
you suck because you're leaving.
You
but
do suck.
I know.
I think we're at the same time happy for you and wish you luck on your new job. And
You
And we'll
should have
keep
seen the
having,
text
we'll
you
keep
sent
having you
me.
back. It's good to have an alternative view
I
instead of just
wonder.
Jen and I.
we
I know.
agree too much, Darren. You're too-
You guys love to disagree with me. That's what it is.
We do.
you are easy to disagree with.
You're an easy
That's it.
target.
You know, I think it's because like you guys are so the average thinkers, and I'm above that.
Wow.
Bing.
I'd like to think for myself a
I'm
little bit.
gonna
and that's
write
why
that
I'm
down,
not
Joe. Okay.
But somehow we all get along though so well.
It's like in 20 years. Remember in 2021 when you said I was an average thinker with Darren?
Wait, where's my
average,
thing?
average now?
Who's average now? Exactly. What are you doing,
20
Darren?
years.
You taking
I was
notes?
trying to find my sound effects and I screwed up. So
No, I thought you were
so-
making a note.
say la vie. No, I got to fix the video now that wasn't streaming and edit it and republish. What a pain in the ass.
Oh, boy.
One of these days you'll get it, Darren.
I even rebooted everything. It didn't work either.
Hey, but who knows? Next week I might see you. I don't know, but
Oh,
We're always
Monday's
here for you,
my-
Joe.
yeah, Monday's my first day, so we'll see what happens.
good
All right,
luck.
good luck to your with your new job, and nice to see you next time.
All right, love you guys.
Bye.
Love
Bye,
you,
Jen.
Joe. Bye, guys.
See you guys next week.
Bye.
See you next week.